Beautiful. Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here. Hello. Too many pedals, I hear you cry, for such a beautiful old guitar. Yeah, maybe. We'll have that discussion. Okay, first of all, please subscribe.
Indeed.
Hit the button. Doesn't cost you anything. Subscribe to this show. It helps us out. Second of all, please go to That Pedal Show store. Buy stuff. It's how we fund the show.
Many pretty things to be had.
Yes, many.
Indeed.
Okay, why are we doing this then? I recently acquired this guitar. It is a 1965 Gibson ES-345, and I'm extremely lucky to own it. I was going to do a separate vlog on it, but probably not required now we're making this video.
Mm-hmm.
It's really to talk about, we're going to touch on some stuff about stereo guitars.
Yes.
Now, I know there's Rickenbackers that are stereo, and we don't have one of those, but this was the stereo guitar, if you like. Explain a little bit about that. Talk about about how that works, and just get some sounds out of it. Compare it a little bit to a more modern 335, and just sort of have at it really with a nice old guitar.
345.
Yeah.
335.
Yeah.
Main differences.
1958. Ted McCarty's president of Gibson. I'll do this very, very quickly. Pretty astonishing to think that in the same year comes out the 335, the 345, and the 355. They're different. They get flashier as the numbers go up, right?
Oh, okay.
335, very simple. Dot neck. When it first arrived, no fingerboard binding. It very soon got fingerboard binding after that.
Right.
Long pick guard, as you can see here. That changed a bit later to the short one.
Okay.
345, a bit fancier. Dual parallelogram inlays.
Ooh, fancy.
Gold hardware.
Okay.
355, loads more binding everywhere. Block inlays, more gold.
Now, are all the 345 stereo?
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't know. One of the factors of... so 58, these come out in 58.
Right.
Jazzmaster comes out in 58.
Oh, wow.
Flying V Explorer come out in 1958. It's mad. And I have it on relatively reasonable authority that Ted McCarty, who was president of Gibson at the time and sort of presided over all of Gibson's golden era guitars from the Les Paul all the way through to Firebird and all that. He was most proud of that guitar.
Really?
Of the 335.
Wow.
So I've heard it said, because the serious guitar players took it seriously.
Right.
No one took the Les Paul seriously when it came out. Solid body. Gibson weren't into solid bodies.
Amazing.
They discontinued it in 1960 because it wasn't selling. Everyone laughed their socks off at the Flying V and the Explorer.
Right.
So much so that they hardly made any.
Right.
And discontinued that. But the serious guitar players, the studio guys, liked it because it felt like a traditional guitar, yet it had the solid center block.
Okay.
So just to finish the story, 335, 345, 355 all have the solid center section.
Okay.
330, which you would also put in the same category as an Epiphone Casino, fully hollow.
Is there a 340 and a 350?
There were later.
Okay. Right, but not in...
And earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, it all gets a bit confusing. But these ones that have the two horns like this, the Chuck Berry guitar, the BB King guitar, you know it. The other big difference, one of the other main big differences was sometime in about 60, I want to say 62, 63, these got became more pointy.
Oh.
So they refer to that as Mickey Mouse ears,
Right.
and these as not Mickey Mouse ears,
Okay.
slightly more pointy. So the body shape changed.
Goofy ears.
Anyway, let's move on. What's really interesting about this guitar is, A, it has Gibson's Varitone, which is sort of like a variable tone control, which scoops out more bass and mids as you go through. We'll have a listen to that in a sec. But it was stereo.
And how was it stereo?
Well, I didn't know this. I had to Wikipedia it. Stereo jack, right? So what we would now call a TRS jack, was designed to be used with one of Gibson's stereo amps of the day.
Okay.
And it just so happens that in that stereo amp that Gibson had, the channels were out of phase with one another. Or they were opposing polarity, should we say.
Okay.
Which means that in this guitar, these pickups are out of phase in the middle position.
Specifically so it could be used with the Gibson stereo amplifier where the channels were out of phase.
People who know more about Gibson history than I do may want to put some meat on that bone in the comments.
Okay.
But that is my understanding.
Okay.
So we're currently going into both amps, so you'll hear both amps. I'm going to turn the 2-rock off in a sec and we'll hear the stereo bit. That sounds confusing. It'll make more sense. So bridge pickup.
That is fantastic.
So you hear the out of phase sound in the middle. It has something in common with the kind of sound you might associate with Peter Green. It's slightly different, but anyway, with that really honky out of phase sound. And that's something you'd hear Freddie King do.
Great
So,
sound.
you know. Because
so beautiful.
the pickups are out of phase with one another.
Yeah.
So we'll just do a quick finger click.
Back in the room.
Okay. The pedal board is no longer in the game. The guitar is going straight from the guitar into both channels of the amp. As I said, was originally designed to be used with Gibson's stereo amplifier.
Okay, and we don't know if that was actually properly stereo.
I don't know. Magnetone were doing something similar at the time, I think.
Okay, Magnetone, I think was. Anyway, yep.
The point is, because of the TRS cable, you have one pickup going to one
channel
side,
yeah,
and the other pickup going to the other side.
Okay.
So what we've got now is it just so happens that a deluxe reverb or a super reverb or a twin reverb, I don't know about Voxes, but
depends on the Voxes, but if you've got a normal channel and a bass and treble channel, yes, they are out of phase.
Okay.
And if you've got an EF-86 channel and the same, like, yes,
they will be.
they will be.
Same as this amp, the two channels are out of phase with one another. So it means now
in the middle position,
we should be in phase.
Oh my goodness.
So one of these pickups is going to the reverb channel in the deluxe reverb. The other pickup will be going to the other channel, and we'll find out which one it is when we hear, because only one of them has reverb. Right.
Reverb.
Bridge pickup is going to the reverb channel.
Right.
The neck pickup should be going to the non-reverb channel. And of course, when we mix them, they should be in phase.
Just to clarify, the bridge pickup is going either the tip or ring going to the channel with the reverb on it.
Yeah.
The neck pickup is going to the other.
Yeah.
So they're completely separate.
Completely separate.
Amazing.
And if you want proof of that, I'll turn the reverb channel down in the deluxe reverb. Nothing. So
That's brilliant.
I hope you can see channel 1, channel 2, each pickup goes to
Amazing.
either channel.
Amazing.
Now, that's great because now the guitar's in phase and it behaves like any other 4-pot
Okay.
Gibson in a way, not least because we're coming out of one speaker. If you were running stereo out of 2 separate speakers into something like a jazz chorus, you can't split the input on a jazz chorus,
No.
so it does all get a bit confusing.
But what's really cool is you can tune each channel to each pickup.
Yeah, you could.
That's outrageous.
Just briefly, we'll take a load of the bass out of the normal channel and add a load of treble. And the bridge pickup was sounding okay, but... So this is just the normal channel, and you know it is because there's no reverb. Now, another finger click. I want you to listen to this in-between sound, okay?
So you've summed them in one channel.
So now, out of the TRS output of the guitar, using 2 leads into 1 converter, we're now only going into the reverb channel. The pickups are out of phase. We're hearing that out of phase relationship in the amp, and that gives us the gateway to all those tremendously groovy sounds.
Just humour me.
Yeah.
And so we can hear the in-between position of this guitar.
Okay, I'll just do that again then. Pickups are in phase.
Yep.
Much fuller sounding.
Yep.
So that presents a problem.
Is it a problem though? Because I think the out of phase thing sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
I want to keep the out of phase thing, but it does mean I've always got to use a TRS
Special
cable.
Yeah.
Dan has lovingly made me one in appropriate puce,
Nice.
which I like. Okay, so before we move on to the pedal board then, a quick discussion of the Varitone. Actually, Dan, you may as well play for a bit. Let's do a finger click. I'm going to go back to both amps.
Okay.
Okay, Dan's going to give us a quick demonstration of the Varitone. If you, well, it actually doesn't matter which pickup you use, but don't use the in-between setting.
Okay.
Use one or other of the pickups.
All right.
And just play and move the Varitone.
Okay, so I use the neck
Okay.
pickup.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I have that down, it'll be...
The other thing is, because it's 50s wired, if you turn, and again, something peculiar about the whole Varitone stereo thing, even if you're on the neck pickup, turning the bridge pickup down to 0 will mute it.
Sure, sure.
So leave the bridge pickup all the way up
Yep.
and then use the neck pickup as,
Okay.
yeah.
That is unbelievably cool.
This,
Just going between 1 and 2, like let's show
Yeah.
this. That's wonderful.
feels like a Strat switch to me.
Yeah.
Makes it kind of almost kind of a bit Stratty in a weird way.
This is very, very special.
Final thing. In that position, the Varitone is so say out of the circuit, even though it's not completely. People say that it is. It's, yeah. There's two massive metal chokes under here. Anyway, get a middle position, and what I want you to do is play. Just get used to that out of phase sound.
Yep.
And then knock the bridge pickup back by
A hair.
a gnat's chuff,
Okay.
like half.
Okay. This is crazy.
How cool is that? So
Crazy.
what happens in a lot of 345s, and this is what I was going to do when I'd realised that I was going to buy the guitar, my immediate plan was great, rip all that rubbish out and wire it like a 335. After hearing it and playing it, no way.
No way, Jose.
It is so cool. That, just to reiterate what Dan did there, he was in the middle position. Remember, the pickups are out of phase, both volumes on 10. All he did was knock the bridge pickup volume back a touch, and that obviously changes the phase relationship because they're now not perfectly out of phase. One is more dominant, therefore all the fullness comes back. And you've just got this absolutely giant plethora of tones between the Varitone and that.
But it doesn't feel compromised. It doesn't feel like they're almost sort of there. Like every sound is the thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll be spending too much time in like 1, 2, and 3 on the Varitone.
1, 2 all day long.
Yeah.
All
it
day
just
long.
thins
It's
it out a bit.
amazing.
Now, what's quite interesting about that, if you, to all the clean sound fans, I apologise in advance. What we're going to do now is see if we add some filthy distortion, go onto the bridge pickup and thin out in that, or it might be the neck pickup, I don't know, but thin out on the Varitone. So we'll start with it full throated.
Okay.
So this is a Thorpy Warthog. This is pretty much my favourite distortion pedal because it does really nice distortion all the way through to fuzz.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I've got it set up as a kind of quite gritty, well, you'll see.
Okay. just crazy cool.
With even more gain, to me, it's kind of Queens of the Stone Age-y Josh Homme rhythm, you know, like
tracking guitars and putting some of those tones down as separate.
Yeah.
It's just unreal.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
This kind of thing. Kind of a bad Josh Homme impression, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like the Stone Deaf PDF one.
Are they still making baritones?
I believe so. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
It's well
because
cool.
if you're on this position all the time, it almost sounds too bloated by comparison.
Sure.
Right into woman tone territory.
Yeah.
We're smack bang there at the end of the 60s with Clapton. Not that he used that. He used a 335 or an SG or Firebird. But it totally gets into all that territory.
Can I just grab your cable for 1 second? Because I just want to hear... Oh, no, or
you need to plug that guitar in?
Yeah. Plug this one in because I just want to hear what you played then. I just want to hear that on this.
Okay. Be more difficult because I'll play it again in the mid position, right? So I'm in this mid position.
Yep.
With the neck pickup roll, with the bridge pickup roll back a little bit.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. It's really great. It's a really great sound, but there's being able to, I don't know what it is, but there's something, it doesn't sound thin.
No.
There's still something in the bottom end, but it sits in a really different spot.
Completely different. Well, this one, as you could hear, just wanted to feed back.
Yeah.
Instantly because there's more signal. You're not getting the element of phase cancellation, etc., etc. So it's a really cool thing. And I think it's made a very strong case for not being modified.
Oh, no. No way. No, so did the Varitone appear on any other guitars? Did they have it on a Les Paul or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay, wow.
I don't know about like the Les Paul standard, but I think it featured in all kinds of Gibson guitars. You know, I don't know about the traditional as, you know, when they first appeared, but then Gibson got way weird from the mid-60s through the mid-70s.
Bless them.
Didn't it?
Yeah, right.
I mean, you have to take your hat off to Gibson and say to come out with a Flying V in 1958
is, yeah, there's a space thing though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
it was all, you know, into all that stuff.
Talk about brave. Just put yourself in 1958 and walk past the guitar shop window and go,
yeah.
And then on they went, whether you're talking about, I don't know, all the weird and wonderful things that Gibson have come up with since. They've always pushed in the oddest of directions. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it appeared in some other guitars. Some of those things that are sort of broadly Les Paul shaped, but not Les Pauls.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Those kinds of things. But yeah, but it is the case that in so many 345s and 355s that had them, they've been converted back to mono because I suppose maybe players didn't really understand how to deal with them, or
Sure.
couldn't be asked with having the TRS lead.
Mm.
I mean, I suppose one mod I might make is to make it mono from the jack.
Yeah, you absolutely could do that, but by simply having a TRS, so all I've done here, it's a TRS cable, and I've just shorted the ring to tip, and that's it. So that the joining is done in the tip of the plug.
Just means I've always got to have one of those cables with me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no
But
dice.
is there no... I'm just wondering, the stereo thing with two separate amplifiers... You know, is there never a case for that?
The in the comments section will be full of, the whole point of stereo is so you can do different things. And it's not realistic for me.
Okay.
You know, my rig is wet dry. That's what I play. It's got to sit alongside the Strat. It's got to
of course.
sit alongside the Lester.
But just thinking recording wise, anything like that, if there's ever, you know,
I think the annals of music history will tell you how popular it was.
Yeah. I think it's so perfect.
It's great, isn't it?
It's so perfect.
Yeah.
That the thought of touching anything on here fills me with horror.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
you could hear this is already dodgy, so some of it's going to have to be fixed in there. But
Right.
anyway, let's perhaps we'll finish off a few sounds from the board and do a quick comparison of this and that, because for regular viewers of TPS, you're going to want to know how does it compare to this.
Sure.
And I'm kind of interested in that too, because I haven't done that comparison.
Okay.
So there will be some faffing about, because we do have to just change the cables over, but
'tis the way.
'tis the way.
Indeed. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, so I'll just play some simple stuff, and we'll get a listen to these pickups perhaps. What were you hearing?
This guitar is not as bloated as that. There's a clarity in the neck pickup on that one, which is really nice. But there's a hair on the note with this one, and it's dynamically different when you're digging in, and I just dig it so much.
The word I would use is this guitar sounds harder.
Yeah.
And it might be that over YouTube it sounds better because it's a bit louder and a bit clearer. I was going to do one more comparison. I'm going to do that setting again, but when I play it on that guitar, I'm going to switch the Varitone forward one.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, nice. It's extraordinary, mate.
It's, I would say, less hard, right?
Yeah.
Final sound, I'm going to put some gain on and do a kind of that sort of higher gain sound that I like on the bridge pickup on these guitars that you might associate with people like Robin Ford and Larry Carlton, even though I can't play like them. So we'll get a bit of overdrive going from the juggler here. I knocked a tiny bit of treble off the... It just sounded a bit hard. To reiterate what I said earlier, the guitar sounds harder than that one. Not a bad thing. Not pejorative, just different. There just seems to be more music in that guitar by some margin.
Yeah. And I love this guitar, and I've always loved the sound of this guitar.
Yeah.
And whatever's going on with this guitar, I noticed that when I played it last week, what happens harmonically, especially at volume,
Yeah.
and what it gives you is just so pleasing.
It's worth saying I did mod this guitar to have lower output pickups so that it was more articulate and lost some of the lower mid bloat that the original pickups had. And I have to say, in a gig scenario, it was infinitely more usable and enjoyable. I think what that Varitone does is give you that in that first position. You can have it bloated and fat and huge, or you can have it just thinned out a bit. It's really cool.
Yeah, I really had no idea about how useful these were.
Well, I didn't either. You know, I was ready to rip it out, and then it's like, well, okay, let's not do that.
Yeah. Oh, mate, congrats on this. It really is an astonishing thing. I'm so pleased for you.
I'm really pleased. I want to say a massive thank you to Thorpy, Dan Coggins and Rob Francis, who were all involved in the sort of acquisition of this guitar. Circuitous route that it was, and happenstance, and it sort of felt like it was meant to be. I have had to sell quite a lot of stuff to acquire it, which is also feels good. But yeah, I'm super happy.
Beautiful. Well, look, play us out.
Okay, I'll play a little bit.
May as well say goodbye to that guitar, because I doubt I'll be seeing you play this anytime soon.
Yeah, and we'll follow up. Dan is acquiring another guitar soon, and we'll do a similarly themed show with that. Meantime, just in and out. What I was really trying to do there was use position 1 and well, whatever. Position 6 and 5. No, 1 and 2 on the Varitone. Muck about with that, just in and out of the perfectly out of phase. So it comes fuller and less. There's so much in it, man.
Yeah.
There's so much in it.
That's amazing.
Okay, enough indulgence. Yet another Mick indulgent show. There'll be some Dan ones soon, I promise.
Yeah. Till then, thank you so much for watching. Again, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Massive thank you to our patrons on Patreon. Massive thank you to our preferred retailers. Details below. And massive thank you to anyone that's gone to thatpedalshowstore.com and grabbed some merchandise. It's what helps fund the show. We really appreciate your support. But until next week, take it easy. We'll see you soon.
Cheerio!
Bye.